Hey, you there. Thank you for watching. And welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting up for Team 1 in the Northwest. Anyway, Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting up for Team 1, southernmost player in glow-in-the-dark green. It is M13 going first line as a Seraphim. He is a 1,000 rated player. To his northeast, we have in Snow White JDK going first line as an Aeon. He is a 1,400. And running out the front line here for Team 1 in Barbie Pink, it is Smithers going first line as a UEF. He is a 1,500. To his west in Ruby Red, we have the UEF player of Legend Lord 2 going first land. He is a 1,500. In Forest Green to his southwest is the Aeon player of Literal going first land. Again, he is an Aeon. He is a 1,600, the highest rated player on Team 1. And in the regular dice line here for Team 1, it is Ninra going first line as a UEF. He is in Amethyst Purple, and he is a 1,400. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 UEF, 2 Aeon, and 1 Seraphim, which means Team 1 lacks Cybran technology. Apparently, somehow Loki is trying to cheat. To the east, we have Team 2's Chaz going first land as a UEF in Pac-Man Yellow. He is a 1,400. In Lattice Red Pink here to his southwest, we have Squealer going first and second land as a Cybran. He is a 1,200. In Orange Color Orange to the southwest, we have Khalil going first line as a UEF. He is an 1,100. In Rust, we have to the east Kavak going first line as a UEF. He is a 1,900. The highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. And again, he is in Rust. And we have in the southeast corner of the map, Speckles 23 going first land as a Seraphim. He is in Chevy Crimson as an 1,100. And rounding out Team 2's roster, we have Loki going first land as a Seraphim as well. He is in Stitch Blue as a 1,500. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Seraphim, 1 Cybran, and 3 UEF, which means Team 2 lacks Aeon technology, and again, Team 1 lacks Cybran technology. And for 12 players on the map, how much reclaim do they have to scoop up? They have 30,000 reclaim, which means they have 2.5k mass per player if everything was divided evenly. And interestingly enough, there are mass in the mountains over here. I think you could probably drop a couple engineers. There's definitely enough space to put something down here. Maybe put some T3 SAM sites or AA over here just to annoy any sort of spy planes or air scouts or even bombers that may fly over that territory. And for mass point layouts, let's check Team 1 side of the map really quickly. We have 1, 2, 3 Trimex positions on the front line with kind of just a spattering of some T1, not T1s, but some mexes in general. Not particularly a whole lot. There's, again, some, but for 6 players, I'd say they're averaging probably about 10 to 12 mixes per player, just kind of doing a rough, ad in my head, essentially. It's not really a whole lot of mixes to grab, but definitely worth the mass in terms of reclaim to go out to grab as fast as possible. In terms of the layout of the map, realistically, there is only 2 avenues of attack for land, which is over here and over here. That's it. There's no way to get around that. It's going to be a lot of comms over here in the southwest, and most likely a 1v1. Maybe we'll see a 2v2 show up if Loki does come and assist his teammate of Chaz, or if Legend Lord does come and assist his teammate of Smithers. So most likely it's going to be at least a 2v2, not maybe a 3v3 in the southwest, and a 1v1, if not a 2v2 in the northeast. And that's really about it. Our players, again, are starting to move to the middle of the map. That reclaim, once again, the majority of it is in the middle of the map. There isn't anything in the middle of the map. It's mainly on what's right before no man's land, essentially. So our players, particularly in the middle and the southwest, are going to be going for all that reclaim to, again, get those Team 1 mexes, those Team 1 factories, just pumping out upgrades and units as fast as they can. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least 2 air players this game. We've seen in recent games how having 2 players in air can make or break the game. So obviously the rear guard air sub players will go for air, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cavat or Loki goes for air for Team 2, or Legend Lore or Literal goes for air for Team 1. And I'm going to actually speed it up just a little bit. It's a little bit of a distance to get to the middle of the map. It's almost a 20 by 20. I'd say it's probably about 18 or so. Probably be 19 if that's where my reticle was. So it's going to take a little bit for players to get up into the action. But as we see right now, 3 players on Team 1 headed southwest. Actually, no, 4 players, excuse me. We see Legend Lord moving in that direction as well. And Ninra, so maybe a 5v3 as of right now. Team 2's regular slot player of Speckles has not moved to the middle of the map in either direction. And we do see Loki moving to assist his teammate of Chaz, who's on an upgrade as we speak. And they're going to probably try to force Team 1 back in this northern section of the map, try to, again, isolate this avenue of attack for land and force all of Team 1's attention on this southwestern side. Transport with some engineers coming in to assist with the reclaim gathering operations for Loki himself. And Team chooses Khalil, just going to charge on forward, doesn't even care what's in front of him, just trying to, again, harass Team 1 as best he can. We do see the other orange player in Rust of Cabat moving in, getting some facilities online to, again, crank out engineers for the inevitable horde of reclaim that will be established with everybody fighting it down there. Gun, again, is coming online for Chaz. T2 coming online here for Smithers. He's going to be more defensive. Team 2 is going to be a little bit more offensive, obviously, with another comm added to the mix. That definitely leads to that outcome. And again, looking like 5v3 in terms of Team 1 versus Team 2 in the Southwest. Team 2 either needs to get T3 air online very quickly or a bunch of gunships to really assist with defensive measures, because it's going to be a lot of attack power moving this direction from the comms in particular. We do see Khalil going after the AA first and then going to go after the THAMs. Don't know if he has some target priorities that I know of or not, but definitely should take out the stuff shooting at you first. The comm, definitely a different story with that regard, but he's taking out the tanks and the Zooey at the minimum. And again, those engineers have scooped up all of that reclaimed radar facilities coming online in multiple locations, trying to do their best they can to gather intel, because the more you know, the more you can prepare for. And I do like this, that they're putting the radar very close to the mountainside, letting it be shielded a little bit in the middle of the map. I do expect at some point somebody is going to be flying something around the southwest or northeastern corners of the map. It's just too much of an opportunity, especially with the rearguard air slot player essentially having a direct shot if he stays to the edge of the map to the other rearguard air slot player. I wouldn't be surprised to see lots of AA being built very, very quickly at 20, 30 minutes in the game. Khalil trying to halt the advancement of Team 1's movement. I don't know why they're spelling M, but they're spelling M. And they're going to put a PD right there. Oh, he's spelling his name, I guess. Don't really know why, but why not, I guess. I guess he's marking his territory, essentially saying, hey, this is mine, go away. And gun damage and range has been started for Legend Lord in the southwest. Nano now done here for Chaz. He has gun and nano. Loki was probably going to move in and assist, and Team 2 is going to just walk forward. Smithers has one T2PD, actually 2 T2PD online, and 1 T1. That's not going to stop the comm of Chaz with that nano and gun on board. He's sitting at 50 hit point, a second regen with that additional nano upgrade. Gun, speed, and range started here for multiple players in the game in the southwest, and damage and range as well. We're sitting at, again, 3v5. 2 of them on Team 1 going for gun. Everybody else going for just bog standard. 2 of them on Team 2 going for gun, with Kaleo being the only one not going for any sort of upgrade. Rearguard airsoft player still, again, expanding his eco out. T2 is online. He's producing some air scouts for some vision. Team 1, how's that going? Well, producing some bombers for some aggressive plays. And I just expect this to just be a ball of fire, essentially, in the southwest. Team 2's Chaz and Loki have pushed forward. Loki essentially being the bullet sponge as Chaz pushes forward. More PD are coming online here for Smithers, but again, I don't think this is really going to go Team 1's way. As long as Loki stays there to try to assist, overcharging takes out that facility that was going to be built, that radar, not radar, but the shield facility. Chaz does get forced back a little bit, needs to really push him with his units to get in close. He could have used his units, or his comm as a way to tank all the shots for those units to come in. But now Chaz is in the red. He does have nano, but he is being shot at by those triads very aggressively here. Don't think the push really worked the way he wanted to. Yeah, all these Lobos, everything could have come in and taken out all the shielding. Don't know really why Chaz didn't push him with his units sooner. not really going to go his way, and Smithers will reap the benefits of all of the reclaim. I mean, it's T1, but it's better than nothing. The shields are definitely going to have to be the ones targeted, and they're not, unfortunately. So Team 2 makes no progress on that northeastern corner. Gun speed has been started for JDK. Going to go for range probably after that. And with that gun upgrade with M13, he's going to start making his way southward. Gun damage range again is coming online for Kaleo. He's going, his teammate of Cavat's going for Nano. So lots of comms on Team 2 going for Nano just so they can rep up hit points very quickly, which again is very important because if you can out-heal damage, you're essentially invincible in that fight. And Squealer pushes his way forward, going after JDK's commander. He has the speed upgrade, but not the range, giving Squealer the advantage in the fight. Ninra moving into assist as well. And M13 pushing his way forward. Kaleo does have the gun done. And once that Nano finishes for Cavat, he'll join the fight. M13, if he pushes in a little bit closer, Cavat will be able to open fire with his commander. I don't think M13... Oh, he's starting to move a little bit closer. Again, once he's in range, that's going to be it. Nano repair will be done. And now Cavat will probably push in with the comm of Kaleo to take out M13. Stop, says Smithers. Don't... Oh, stop saying stop assisting, maybe? I don't really know what's up with that. Stealth has been started here for Squealer over there to the east. And now Cavat's pushing back here against M13. And there go the comms of both Kaleo and Cavat pushing M13 back to his M. It's over there to the west. Advanced range has been started here for JDK. He has the regular one online already. And Chaz has been forced back. Same here with Loki. And that push definitely did not work in their favor. And now it is... I mean, it's still 1v1, 1 versus 2 in terms of comms. But there's now more units online here for JDK to assist. So it's really like 1.5 to 2. And it's still favoring Team 1. Just due to the fact that it's more defensible of a position. Smithers doesn't have shielding because he doesn't have energy, but we'll probably get that sorted out here pretty shortly. Legendlord forcing his way forward against Squealer. Squealer on that upgrade for stealth. Legendlord tries to cancel it, but is unsuccessful. And Team 2 is ever inching their way forward. Gun damage and range coming online for Ninra now. So almost everybody has at least some sort of gun upgrade, or almost has one. For Team 1, at least in that southwestern section. T2 still the main air facility here for the regular sub-player Speckles, but is working on his T3. Team 1, do you have your T3? Yes, you do. So Team 1 is ahead in that game. That's probably why Ninra waited to get the gun upgrade so he can get T3 first. Probably the better situation so he can get T3 and start pummeling Team 2 from the skies. Definitely same kind of a track mind that I kind of have. But get the upgrade, get the better units, and then go from there. Chaz being forced back by some Aurora. Overcharging kills a couple more units off. He is sitting at almost 2-star veterancy. Scratch that. He is sitting at 2-star veterancy. And that overcharge actually shoots in between those two Aurora. Definitely unfortunate shot there. And now JDK does have advanced range. Nano repair is started here for Squealer. He needs to finish it sooner rather than later. I sense Team 1 is out for blood. And Team 2 in the west still just slowly encroaching on M13's position. Reclaiming constantly the fights that's going on. And looks like JDK is just inching his way forward. He does have some blazes online as well, so easily could blitz down Squealer if he's not careful. Squealer might have to cancel that upgrade and fall back. It's not really looking good. They do know where the comm is. They know it's an A on comm. Team 1, do they know where the comm's positioned at? No. Overcharge kills off a couple of units. He doesn't know what it is quite yet. That radar, that stealth upgrade making it very difficult to see. Squealer shooting at JDK now. Team 1 doesn't know where he is. They do sense the shots. They're just barely out of vision range. Mantis and everything to push their way forward. Legendlord coming in to assist as well. Squealer still on that upgrade. Wants to sit there as best he can. Blazes move in to assist and going to rip apart all of those T1 units in the west. Those two orange players still forcing M13 back. But it's not really looking good here for Team 2 on this eastern side. Squealer still going for that upgrade. Probably needs to cancel it. Some units over the top here on this mountainside get overcharged by Legendlord 2. That doesn't really go anywhere, unfortunately, here. For Team 2, it is interesting you can get units up here and move around, but no one's really used that until then. In the east, things have kind of quieted down. Chaz going for more reclaim at 2-star veterancy. And still is repping up. He's still on the yellow, though. It's going to take him a while to get back to full health. Chrono Dampener started for Literal. He has advanced range and speed on board. Squealer still on that upgrade, rooted to the spot. He's taking a lot of shots to the chest. And again, that advanced range commander will be a huge advantage for Team 1 in this fight. So Squealer is still, again, going to be in range regardless if he can fire at JDK or not. Bombs over the top trying to soften up all the remaining units. Squealer does make it out of range, but all his units are dead and gone. Team 1 has the advantage so far. And Team 2, again, still pushing with their commanders. Ninra over here to the north has the gun upgrade. Literal has the chrono dampener online. Squealer is in the yellow. He attacked JDK once again. Don't know if this is the best play to go for. There's now 2 comps. Squealer's dead. There's no escape now. It doesn't matter. Team 2 will lose the first player of the game at 14 minutes on the clock. And there it goes. Is it JDK or Legend that got the credit for the kill? I mean, they both got the kill, but who gets the official credit? It is Legend or 2 who got the last shot in. Team 2's players in the west pushing back M13. Still, M13 is holding strong. Only has gun on board, but with Literal coming in to assist, and Ninra probably going to go for some PD or something. It's not really looking good for Team 2 in the middle, especially with a nice little hole that's open up with a lot of spam outbound these flares, assisted by a couple of Aurora going to be running around and taking out some T1 or even T2 Mechs that have started to be upgraded. There's a radar facility that'd be great to grab here for Team 2, or by Team 1 on Team 2, but I think Kaleo and Cavett are moving in to assist with that. There's an Archer coming online here, but it's not really going to do anything against those flares, unfortunately. In the east, still no progress here for Team 2. It is now a 6v5 in favor of Team 1. The units have broken past the front line and making their way into, I mean, a little bit more sensitive territory. The T2 radar system is still online, so that's still going good here for Team 2, but I mean, the backline, P-gens are starting to fall. Engineers are going down. There is a Riptide coming in close, so maybe they'll get a T... No, I only think they'll get a T2 Max. That definitely does distract Team 2 at the minimum, giving Team 1 a lot of time to push in, reestablish themselves further into Team 2's territory. T3 Air online here for Cavett. T3 Air also online for Speckle. So we have 2 air players so far for Team 2. Team 1, do we see anything like that? No, just T3 land, except for the rearguard air slot of T3. So that could be the way that Team 2 comes back into this game, is with a secondary air player. The unfortunate thing is they have a lot of land to deal with. 5 comms right here. And it's really starting to pull their weight. PD online just being ripped apart and being forced to go offline. Missiles raining in here from Cavett's position, going after that comm, trying to keep them moving. If they stop moving, they'll get hit. Bombers over top targeting those missiles, getting a little bit burned there by those Scorchers. Archer deals with that very quickly, not allowing that to keep going southward. Shield coming online here for Chaz. T3, Omen, Othams are online, the other O in the game. And Literal pushes his way forward. He also has advanced range, and he has the chrono dampener, so not useful against comms, but useful against other units. You can see them getting EMP'd for a brief second. Literal does take a lot of shots. He's dropping into the yellow. Ninra is nearby. He has gun in T2. Going to get underneath an Asylum Asylum mobile shield. And more Oblivion PD being put online again, trying to force back Team 2 ever so slightly. It's both the orange players managing the front line in the west, blue and yellow here on the east. I feel like at this point Loki should probably shift to the west and assist with the middle, especially with being a player down. 5 players' attention, well, mainly 4. You have, of course, Legend Lore up here, but he's focused on other endeavors up here. He's most likely going to be the eco player here for Team 1. I mean, he is producing the most mass per second, so that's probably going to be the case. Team 2, obviously, Cavett has dual base, so he's producing the most. I mean, I don't know, Team 2 probably needs to get Loki back over here to assist. Don't know if it's going to be enough. Lots of missiles online being diverted by some Oblivion, not Oblivion, but Volcano TMD. It's not going to be enough, though. It's targeting the Oblivion. You need a lot more than that to deal with that amount of missiles. It's just too many for that Volcano to deal with. More shields coming online. Firebase going to be established back here. Team 2, again, is losing territory. It's not really looking good. Team 1 is outproducing Team 2 at mass game at 800 versus 730. So getting about 70 mass per second more overall versus Team 2. It's, again, divided by 6 players is a little bit over 10. It's about, is it 12 or something? No, it's like 11. It's 11 something, 11 and a half, 11 with some decimals or whatever. So it's not really that much of a problem, but it obviously can equate to a bigger problem later on. T2 coming online here for Kaleo. Probably follow Cavat's way of just going to build some more fire bases. Again, there's no comms over here. The only comms are down here. There's a lot of firepower on those comms, and Team 1 knows it. That's why 5 of them are here. Granted, one of them's back there, but still, there are 5 in the vicinity versus the 2 that Team 2 has. There could be a point to be made that Team 2, if the trend continues, will have lost the game because not as many players went to the middle of the map. I mean, it does definitely depends on how the game progresses, but that could be an argument made that if Team 1 wins, a lot of it is won right here with, again, forcing Team 2 back, getting a healthy, lead on mass generation, all that, just because there were more players thrown to the middle, at least this particular lane, than the other one over here. And Team 2 starting to be forced back again by some Harbingers and a bunch of Team 1 units. They're moving in formation. Love to see it. It means everybody will be able to fire roughly at the same time instead of just kind of stringing them in one by one. Love to see that. You hardly see it because they move very slowly, but when they do move slowly, they move together. So here's one of the things. Chaz has shield, gun, and nano. It's 2-star veterancy, almost a third. And we do see some Othams joining him. It's a lot of T2. But again, the comm is here. Overcharges, kills off 3 of those Harbingers. Great placement of that overcharge. Will get him to 3-star veterancy, almost a 4. That will get him to 4. And this fight opens up quite heavily in Team 2's direction. Those Harbingers being killed off really just nullifies a lot of the firepower that Team 1 brought to bear in the southwest. Looks like a lot of Team 1's steam has, well, kind of been let out, but again, huge opportunity in the western side of this side, either to just divert eastward and avoid the comms, or go after Kaleo. He's a little bit of the weaker of the 2 positions in the west side of that southwest position. There are some Harbingers running along the edge though, but they're running into some Othams, so that's not really going to go anywhere. And Chaz pushing forward again. He has shield, so he can take a lot of shots. Almost takes out another Titan, but it's a lot of firepower raining down on him, and those Percys aren't even firing at him. Overcharge kills off the other Titan that was standing in front of said Percy. Shield and 10,000 hit points and falling, but still another overcharge, constantly just one-shotting all of these T3 units, keeping his position online. I don't know where Loki is doing. He has T3 air as well, so 3 players on Team 2 have T3 air. And like I said, this might be the way that Team 2 comes back in the game, is just with a ton of air. And so far, they are making a play for it in some regard. There's more facilities coming online. I feel like Loki's thinking, as long as my other teammates can keep Team 1 at bay, we have a chance to just dominate air. Team 1 and Team 2, I mean, it's pretty much, I think it's in favor of Ninra for now. But definitely as time progresses, with 3 T3 air facilities online, and air grids obviously being established around those, it's only going to go one way. You would have to have a ton more eco to outproduce 3 players with facilities and air grids. It just, the math just doesn't work out that way. JDK on the front lines with his units, leading the charge. He has, again, advanced range, shield, and speed online. Lots of tickle cannons being established here for Team 2's Cavat. They really want to kill on Team 1, somebody on Team 1 at a minimum. And Team 1 has not had a casualty as of yet, and it's 21 minutes on the clock. Team 2 in the east, a little bit back and forth, but again, the reclaim sides with Team 2, so that will definitely supercharge Chaz's eco at least a little bit. And let's see, is JDK, he's falling below the green, he's in the yellow. Those bricks are focusing fire on the comm of JD with some missile launchers in back. There he goes, he is gone. Team 1 loses their first player at 22 minutes on the dot. And it is the Aeon player of JDK. Team 1 now at 5 players left. Team 2 at 5 players left as well. Overall for the game, Team 1 sitting at 1.0K Mass income, Team 2 at 1.2. Whoa, that number went high. Okay, now it's 1.2, so maybe some power generation related issues. So about 100 or so mass more than Team 1, not by Team 2, not by much, but again, trends, that's what we care about here. If the trend continues, it's not going to be good for Team 2. But anyway, map controls a little bit in favor of Team 1. A lot of the map is kind of just not really there because it's just mountains, so it's very much impassable. There is a nice little radar facility down here. Love to see that, just using whatever territory you can get. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game, and if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and again, thank you so very much for watching to this point in the video. I really do appreciate all the time and attention you give to the channel and the videos, regardless if you watch for a minute, 10 minutes, an hour, 1,000 videos. I'm not 1,000 videos yet, but I really do appreciate it, so thank you so very much. Julio over here to the west just hanging out. Probably should be using his comm a little bit more. Advanced nano repair coming online for M13. Legendlord in the middle with shield and gun. His forces being ripped apart by those tickle cannons and bricks over here. Team 2's Chaz making another attempt at this position, but it's heavily fortified now, or even more fortified now. Ravagers coming online as well. There are some missile launchers. Are those spearheads that he's bringing in? Those are spearheads. T3 spearheads pump out a lot of missiles for in a burst. Percy's as well. Those missiles are raining in. Definitely should be targeting the Ravagers and the shield emitters at a minimum. Autumn's coming in from Loki to assist as well. And then some Titans here for Legendlore. And a nice little radar system for Ninra. But the shields are down. Chaz still pushing forward. He needs to kill off those Ravagers. His comm is being targeted by them. Or fall back or the other. All his units just flood the gates here of Smithers. Smithers trying to hold off the best he can. Building more PD as needed. And it's needed. And T1, T2, and T3 units. A lot of the firepower has been knocked out by Team 1's defenses. Jazz is forced to retreat. And still not really any noticeable damage. A couple of Ravagers went down, but that's really about it. And Jazz trying to get out of Ravager range. And will do so, but there are some Titans now over here, which Team 2 is going to have to deal with. In the west here, still Legendlord trying to push against Cavat. Cavat actually pushing back, but now there's some Titans here. And those Vipers are not going to feel good after that incursion from some Titans. And now we see a fire base coming online here for Kaleo as well. So the southern side of this position, not really going to be attacked. It's mainly going to be over here. Team 2 needs to notice that threat and figure out that you just need to put more stuff here. They are getting more and more, bricks, and there's some zappers and some PD and all that. They definitely need a lot more. A lot more of the units have to go in that direction at least. I feel like 2 comms can handle some things for now, but eventually at some point it's not going to matter. Chickens are going to be established, all that kind of stuff. There is, speaking of which, a chicken online for Loki and a crab. The Monkey Lord is potentially being skipped by Cavat, going straight for that crab, which that will do wonders in forcing Team 1 back with its longer range than the Monkey, or the Colossus for that matter. Some gunships are being established here for Team 2's Cavat. We do see some quantum gateways. There's no RAS comms for the Seraphim, but they can go for those engineering presets, so just beefed up engineers is essentially what they are. They're very effective. Or he could go for... I don't think he would go for the Rambo comm variety. I don't think he would. He might, but I don't think so. Legendlord built an experimental. He is UEF, which means it's most likely, yes, it is a Fat Boy. It is online. That's not going to bode well for Team 2. They need more artillery to really force that Fat Boy back, especially due to the fact that Fat Boy can probably just sit right here with his T2 Mechs and just lob shells over this mountainside. But I do love the missiles getting in over here, going after said T2 Mechs, as I was mentioning. And there are more engineers coming to assist, maybe building some volcanoes. Yep, but it's a little bit too late on that front, my friend. It's the play was probably a minute ago. GC coming, says Squealer. And there it is. That GC is online. Where's that chicken? The chicken's over here. We could see a situation where the Colossus moves south. The chicken moves in from the west, or from the east actually, and just takes out that Colossus. All the firepower going down onto that Colossus. It's going to get a lot of value though, and get some mass killed off quite quickly here. That means more hit points for that GC. GC wants to stay out of range of that chicken as long as possible. And slowly but surely, though, all the units here, both from M13 and Literal, going to just storm the gates. I feel like they would have been better off over here, but they just wanted to take out the heavily fortified position. And more PD coming, going to be in range here. Colossus going deep into Team 2's territory. And again, the further south it goes, the better it is for Team 2. ASF start to fly over top, securing the skies above it, allowing for those barrage swords to come in and do the damage. We do see a nuke coming online here for Loki. That'll be very effective. And there goes, not trying to be sarcastic or anything, it probably will be effective, especially with if it's targeted on the front line. If it goes to the back, maybe not. I don't see any SMDs yet. Oh, actually, I do see one over here, but that's it. Team 1 doing very great job over here by Smithers enforcing Chaz and Loki back. And that Colossus is killed off. The chicken is killed off. And that is mass on Team 2's doorstep, courtesy of Literal and M13. ASF start to shadow this position as well. We could see an air fight here pretty shortly. But all of the units move south to secure the reclaim field. There are no engineers nearby here for Team 1, so that will definitely go to Team 2's coffers. They want to try to secure it. That's a lot of Ilshis, to be fair. But, again, there are some bricks moving in. There's some missile launchers as well. Not really going to go nowhere. Ion Storm taking out some other Ilshis as well. And some Spearhead. Actually, those are flak jets, not Spearheads. Deceivers aren't really effective if they're in front of the units that they're supposed to be deceiving rather than in the midst of them. And another Fat Boy devoted to this side. Team 2 really struggling here on this eastern side. Needs to get some artillery online sooner rather than later. There's one Clink Hammer, but it's not even done yet. Fat Boy almost done for Chaz. But that'll only slow down Team 1's momentum, not necessarily stopping in its tracks. Team 2 has now secured the reclaim. And that is going into Cavat's coffers or Kaleo, either or. But he has a Megalith online. Chicken coming online here shortly for Speckles. Chaz builds his Fat Boy in the east. And Quantum Gateway is online. What did he produce? Advanced Combatant Preset Rambocom, essentially. He's producing those. The Air Player is producing T3 SACUs that are not RAS. Interesting. Where is that transport's going to pick him up and deliver him somewhere? But again, Team 2 has the means of production for ASFs. Team 1, they do have a decent amount, but most, if not all of that eco is going straight into ASFs, not going into anything else. While Team 1 is hyper-focusing on ASF production, Team 2 is a little bit more spreading out in a nice variety versus just, again, focusing on one thing. T2 artillery needs to be built here. One of them is not going to be enough. And even if the Percys do get in close, there's a ton of Percys online here for Smithers and a Titans and Percys here for Legend Lore. And Legend Lore is pumping out units on his back with the Fat Boy as well. So, again, it's really only going to favor Team 1, especially with a third Fat Boy online. Team 2 really needs a win on that eastern side. Laser from the sky has been started. Novax for Team 1's Legend Lore UEF. He's going to go for the Novax satellites. Grab is online, starting to pick apart Team 1's land army. Where's that GC when you need it? Cavat builds another experimental. Did he build another? He did build another crab. That's 2 crabs for Team 2. Going for a third. They're starting to be very dangerous here for Team 2. We do see some incursions from those mountaintops here, using the strategy where those missile launchers were sitting. This position is not really defended, but that crab's coming in shortly, so that will definitely shake things up. And Team 2's Chaz being forced back on this eastern side constantly. Has not been able to catch a break this game. Multiple groups of bombers are on their way to deal with him. And T3 SACU running around over here. Don't know where it's going, but it's doing something, I guess. And those bombers going after that T3 Mechs. Will they kill it? Yes, they will. That is a decent chunk of mass gone from Chaz's coffers. Team 1's recognize the threat, recognize the potential potential advantage that they have in forcing Chaz back. The moment that Chaz had to force back Smithers was that initial one where he had all his units here with him. Well, they were back here. Had he sent the units in with the comm, that might have been enough to force Smithers back. But Nuke is outbound, and it's going for this position. SMD is not loaded. and I don't think it will be loaded in time. It's going to be very... Oh, it's not going to be that close. We do see those Perseus and Titans getting by the Crab, but the Crab needs to keep walking to intercept those Titans. Perseus is a little bit slower, but the Titans, they're able to escape. That nuke will land. That SMD will not load in time. Unfortunately for Team 1 Smithers, there it goes. Kaboom! Team 1 land facility survives, immediately going to produce engineers. So there's no reinforcements coming for this position, and it looks like the units will fall back at a minimum. That'll give a little bit of breathing room for Team 2's Chaz. Titans coming in, not really going to do a whole lot, unfortunately. It looks like the Team 1 PD has been spammed up to deal with those Titans. They're producing another chicken. And Cavat builds another experimental. It is another Crab, so 3 Crabs are online in the middle for Team 2's Cavat. At this point, you got to send them in, take something out. Maybe send them to the west probably would be the best idea. Lots of T3, AA, and T2, in fact, on this southwestern side here, preventing any sort of air incursion from that side of the map. Looks like they've dealt with the radar system, but the AA is still there. And, I mean, Team 1, I mean, they're still outproducing Team 2 by a decent amount. They have a GC online. They have an SMD over here. Now they know about the nuke. SMD over here, that's loaded. First satellite's about to finish, and more of them are going to be built. And Crabs need to start making their way forward, start paying for themselves. You spent all that mass and energy producing them, you might as well use them while you got them. And more combatant preset commanders are being built. Speckles not really focusing on air, really focusing on preset or combatant preset commanders. Nuke is halfway loaded. It killed off 71,000 mass. Artillery has been started. It's been stopped, but it has been started. Legendary finishes that satellite. Could be another Fat Boy, but it's the satellite. I don't see him building anything else. The base here for M13 has been destroyed. The Crab is in the yellow. Taking a ton of damage, though. So definitely an opportunity to kill off that one. But a second one, of course, approaches it. And the third one, it's on its way. Smithers finishes an experimental, most likely another. No, it's also a laser. So 2 of the UEF players on Team 1 going for Novaxes. And that's actually transferred over to Smithers. Smithers is going to be the one to micro everything while Legend Lord builds them. Very interestingly. I feel like Legend Lord would be the one to control those, not Smithers. But I guess there's some reasoning behind that. I don't know what it is. I guess these Crabs are waiting for their brethren to get there. The longer these units wait here, A, the more damage that's going to befall them, and B, gives more time for Team 1 to build up more defenses. Spam outbound from Kalia to just overwhelm the defenses in the west. Needs to get some AA online. Crabs moving in to take out this position of Harbingers. Harbingers going to be like, nope, not going to deal with that nonsense. And there goes the GC. GC will probably take out the weaker of the 2 Crabs. That one's especially in the red, so definitely one to go after. Lots of reclaim for Team 2 to scoop up, and they're starting to secure the area as well. Not only are they advancing forward, but they're getting the reclaim. And the Crab has now been targeted by that GC. GC will kill off the Crab, giving it some more hit points once it gets that veterancy. But if it gets as much as it needs 13,000. Killed off 6, so not enough. Was that 5 or no? It's 6. GC is killed off, so 1 Crab for 1 GC. But it's also on Team 1's doorstep is the problem with that. Units moving into the south. Good thing it's not a chicken, or those Burks would be dead. In the east, the Fat Boys have retreated. But it is still a threat. Lasers over the top starting to make their way to this position, going after the nuke or the artillery. Artillery's not done, but more shields are being built. Nuke is 3/4 the way loaded. Team 2 knows about the satellites if they're paying attention. And ASF sitting over here for Ninra. There could be an opportunity for some bombers over here to the northeastern corner of the map. Obviously, Team 1 will see that as it's coming, but at least at a minimum, they could be using this. Over there, they just have interceptors sitting over there, just holding position. And another satellite has been completed, and more pigeons are going to be built first before Legendor invests in more satellite technology. Speckles, you are stalling badly. Stop everything except air production, says Squealer. Yeah, he's stalling pretty bad, negative 250. He's trying to pump out some preset commanders, but he's just doing too much. He needs to stop some projects and fund other things. Getting some more P-gens online. He has power. He doesn't need more power. He realistically needs more mass. Need help, says Literal. And definitely needs help over here. Those crabs now diverting eastward to this artillery base. It's been shelling the crabs for a while now. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go this way first. Maybe he wanted to take out this position, go straight for Literal's main base that's over here, but just can't get to it. He does have a nice air grid online, though, so there are 2 air players for Team 1. Literal saw the threat, decided to hop into air. And definitely, rightly so, Team 1 needs the help. If it was going to be 3v1 in air, there's only one way that's going to go. Lasers taking out the T3 air headquarters, locking Cavat out of ASF production for now. He's building his own lasers, so it's going to be laser v laser here. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? A wood could chuck wood is what that reminds me of. Just lasers and lasers and more lasers. Satellite says JDK. Targeting stuff down here. Shields are being built. And it looks like they will kill off some of the air grid here for Speckles. But Speckles isn't really using it that much. Team 2 has a horde of ASFs, though. They're not really using it. Neither player really using any air, just building it to build it. I do get the reasoning behind it. You need to have air to fight air, but if you you spend a bunch of time and energy building stuff and you don't actually use it, there is the question of, is there a point in building it to begin with? Oblivion, PD are being targeted. We see these bricks coming in to assist. The crab over here, so a fourth one has been built. The megalith over here is about to die. 2,000 hit points, is trying to get out of dodge. There are some engineers nearby scooping up reclaim, escorted by some forces from Kaleo. Team 2 sitting at 200,000 reclaim versus Team 1 70,000. But again, Team 1 is outproducing Team 2 in terms of mass per second, 1.9 versus 1.6. And Team 1's following that into satellites. Team 2's following that into other projects. 4 satellites are online so far. It's starting to get a little scary here with satellites for Team 1. This position here for Speckles is essentially gone. He's lost his quantum gateway. He's lost some P-gens. He still has some of the air grid, not all of it. But another nuke is outbound from Loki. I don't know if it'll get anywhere. There's a lot of SMDs everywhere. This will be the one to take out first. GC coming online to defend Fat Boy as well. Lots of T2 Spectre gunships will just annihilate that crab. And there goes the ASFs. Huge air fight going on here in the middle of the map. We have 4 groups of ASFs here. Some, actually, no, those 3 groups of ASFs. Oh, no, there's 4. There's some interceptors and ASFs in there. Speckles is still sitting there. But Team 1's going to absolutely demolish Team 2's air. Oh, this is devastating for Team 2. They had 3 air players, and they still didn't have enough. Unfortunately, that our air player has not been making air squealer. Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. Those get pinged. May have been useful in that fight, but yeah, Squealer did not produce as much air as he probably should have, and yeah, that's not the best idea. Team 1 has air dominance, no question about that. I don't even have to do the numbers on it. I know that's air dominance. 2 Fat Boys online trying to stall the crabs. The SMD is probably the main target here. The nuke already got fired. So that is the thing, and it didn't kill anything off. It got shot down somewhere. I don't know really what it was going after. 1, 2, 3 satellites. 4 satellites. 5 shortly. 6 as well. So 6 satellites soon to be upon Team 2. And Team 2 only has 1. So the difference is not really doing well. What are you talking about, says Cavat? Well, he's talking specifically about the fact that Speckles, who was in the air slot, did not produce as much air, is essentially what it is. And the crabs not close enough to take out the SMD. Oh, maybe. There's a lot of firepower. It could be enough. A couple more shots will do it. Oh, 50 hit points. There it goes. The SMD is down. ASF go in. I don't really know why. They're chasing the gunships, and they just get eviscerated by Team 1. SMD is down, says Literal, but it's going to be rebuilt immediately and loaded immediately. There is an SMD right here, and it's loaded, so that's not really a huge issue there. Team 2 has lost air. He's been making Rambo boys and land and stalling badly. Yeah, not really doing well here for Team 2's air player. Artillery looks like it was reclaimed. It didn't actually continue on. Team 2, they're trying to counter with their own satellites. I don't know if that's worth it. Team 1 is getting a lot of them online. They need something to actually take out the satellite stations themselves. Chicken over here to the east for Loki. as well as another one here escorting that fat boy. There are 4 satellites over here. Actually, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 satellites. The chicken does have an opportunity to go straight for that comm and those fat boys. He's going northward a little bit. Needs to just walk directly. He's trying to dodge some fat boy fire, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Satellites, they're targeting that chicken. Chicken over here, essentially untargeted, but the fat boys are now actually changing targets to go after that. The chicken is going to get a decent amount of oh no, it almost got there. The ion storm will not be close enough. Fat boy able to take out the SMD coincidentally, so that is something here for Team 2. Chicken now diverting northward, but there's a lot of Percys here. It might be enough firepower to halt. The chicken's trying to bob and weave, but at this point, not really any point in trying to dodge. One fat boy is down. You can see it trying to, again, kind of like it's walking like a snake. It's kind of going right and left and right and left. The fat boy from Team 2 is able to force back Team 1, but isn't enough. 2 chickens are down. Another chicken looks like it died. So 3 chickens are down here for Team 2. It's 2v1 for fat boys. There are some Rambo boys nearby here for speckles, but just don't know if it's enough. Kill all comms with satellites, says JDK. I mean, that is a way to do it. Team 2 has 5 comms left. You could, I mean, depending on what the shielding is like, you probably could. Nuke is almost half loaded, but I don't know if it, I don't know. Team 2 is making tons of progress on the western side, though. Killing all of the AA off. There's some gunships inbound. Lots of flak, though, so it's going to rip apart those Spectres. Definitely needs to be those bigger brethren of the Restorers to really body all those shots. Rambo's running around, going after everything, escorted by a Percy. Fat boys over here. Looks like, again, one fat boy was killed off. Well, there's another fat boy down there, to be fair, but that's Team 2's. I think there was another fat boy somewhere. I guess not. 5th satellite has been constructed. 6th one has been constructed. 7 satellites almost done here for Team 1. That is a lot of satellites. Almost pretty close to just critical mass of satellites for Team 1. Team 2 not trying to fight back in that regard. Needs to go for something else. Speckles essentially just not really doing anything. Producing ASF, some of them, but not really a whole lot. Cavat trying to get back up to T3 air, going for more against satellites. I don't know if that's the play. They're making a decent amount of work on the ground, but Team 1 owns the skies. Like I've said before, even in the game yesterday, the air makes a huge difference. You can have the land, or most of the land, but if you don't have air, there's only so much you can do. Tons of spam outbound here from Chaz. And Team 1, are you funding any other projects other than satellite production? There's one over here. That's the one from Team 2. Another satellite here for Ninra. So he's going for satellites. Everybody gets a satellite in this game. Because why not? And Restorers running around. They're going to just destroy everything Team 2 has. It doesn't matter, even if those gunships don't have a lot of air-to-ground weaponry, you also have these broadswords over here. Those are definitely designed for air-to-ground. And satellites are punching through the shielding here for Loki. Once the nuke goes down for Team 2, that's really their only thing they have. They have 1 satellite, about to have 2. Team 1 has 7. You have the 4 right here. Those Rambo boys are getting pretty close, though. Going for E-storages. Probably should be going for the satellites right there. I don't know where they're going. Again, lots of hit points. 274 hit point second region as well. And there's 3 of them up here. You need to just send them in. Send them in. Take out the P-gens. Take out a couple of the satellites. It's worth the cost because you'll be able to delay the destruction of Loki's base. Looks like the satellite's going for a different target. 6 of them going for Chaz. 7 of them, excuse me. That's the one over there. Oh, this is not going to get... Again, the longer this goes on, the more time Team 1 has to respond. And there go the gunships. That's it. That's not going to do a whole lot anymore, unfortunately, here for Speckles. Those broadswords are going to rip those SACUs apart. And Team 2's momentum has slowed quite significantly. I think that's the 2nd satellite online. No? They're just the 1? Looks like it's just the 1. Okay. Mass generation is in favor of Team 2. Is Team 1 mass stalling at some point? I feel like... Or power stalling? No, it doesn't look like anybody's power stalling, so that is the actual generation for Team 1. Team 2 is in the lead barely, but Team 2 devoted a lot more to land units. Team 1 devoted a lot more mass to essentially, quote-unquote, units that won't die, quote-unquote. Looks like they're building another FAF point, another satellite going to be started. This one almost done for Ninra. It's a lot of satellites. And it's really just going to wreak havoc on Team 2's eco. And the everything. Not just the eco, just the everything. And how's that nuke loading? It's not really progressing very well. PGen's being built here by Speckles. Looks like the Novak Center still being built. I mean, Team 2 is producing a lot of mass. It just doesn't seem like they have the ability to really build much of anything. Loki's sitting at some mass in his coffer. No one really else has a lot of mass. Team 2 not really getting any more chicken online here for M13 in the west. We have some fat boys over here being lasered by that satellite. The only satellite for Team 2. And units are getting into the main base here for Smithers, but there's a ton of gunships. Where is the AA for Team 2? Well, it's not here. There's another chicken coming in. It doesn't matter. Those gunships will rip that chicken apart. ASF's just shadowing over here. And will Team 1 just engage? Possibly. There come the restorers. That's not going to matter. Those ASF do not have the numbers to challenge those restorers. And that Fat Boy is still alive. It has lost its shield, but it's still alive. It's going to start moving out of range, though. And those Lobos doing very good in distracting all the shots from the Percy's, allowing the Percy's get a little bit closer. But like I said, I don't think it's going to matter. ASF's block any sort of advancement from Team 2, and even Literal comes in with his ASFs. Nothing happens. So even if Nimrod loses his, that ASF horde and Restorer horde isn't going to make anything work. Nuke is going to land. SMD is going to load in time. Unfortunately here for Team 2, that would have been a crucial nuke and would have killed off 2 players. But it is going to load, unless for some reason it doesn't. No, there's too much travel time involved. It's going to load. Especially with if the drones didn't come in, maybe it would have been close. But there it is. It is loaded. And there it goes. Fires off the shot. Takes out the nuke. And that's it. It was really close for Team 2. I mean, that would have really opened the door for Team 2 to use, I mean, something. Granted, to be fair, it would have killed off probably Legend Lord or Smithers or both. Probably not. Another SMD's being built. But it would have at least taken out the satellites, which would have been the bigger thing. Would have at least given Team 2 a little bit more breathing room. But with, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 satellites online, it is not going well here for Team 2. Send 1 satellite to Smithers. Use Novax over there. So now 8 satellites online. It's just so many satellites. Not a good thumbnail picture because they're not all in the same location, but it worked. There's 8 satellites. I think the most I've seen is 12 in one game. I think is the most that I've seen of just more than anybody should ever have to build ever, essentially. Targeting all the P-gens here for Cavat. Cavat's just being whittled slowly but surely. All the emitters are down. Targeting the mixes. Not even targeting Cavat's commander. He could just one-tap, I think, the commander. But just targeting everything else here. And I feel like at this point, it's going to speed up the game because we kind of know the way it's going. We see Chaz trying to force his way forward once again. Team 2, again, they had a decent amount of progress going, but the air is really just forcing them back. There goes Cavat. We knew he was going to die at some point to the satellites. There he goes. It's now a 5v4 in favor of Team 1. Now the satellite's going to rip through, not Squealer, but Speckles' base. Good game, says Cavat. GG, says Literal. I mean, it's definitely in that direction. Artillery landing here for Team 1. Who has that? Probably, no, not you. Has a bunch of engineers on that. That's a lot of Team 1 engineers, I might add, on that transport. Lots of engineers. Artillery being built here. I don't see it anywhere. Is it for, oh, it's right here. It's by Literal. He has the Emissary, the best T3 artillery in the game. And we do see Loki moving in with 3 crabs, so it is an opportunity on land. Nuke, says Literal. And that's what they should target. That nuke's going to not load again, so that would be a huge issue there. If Team 2 is building a Mabor or a Scathos or something somewhere else that I don't know about, I'd be very, not too opportunistic, but definitely beneficial for them. But no, they're not. Speckles is taken out by the Satellites as well. I feel like I sense the trend coming. The Satellite's going to take everybody out. Love me some Sats, says Speckles. Yeah, Satellites are really important in this game. And slow this down. Just look at the shields. It's just trying to hold. Average UEF enjoyer. That might be the text that I used. Oh, whoa! That is not what I meant to do. That is not what I meant to do. Average UEF enjoyer with the Satellites. That's definitely a good word for that. Satellite coming in. Satellite. Artillery landing in. Loki fleeing to shielding. And like I said, don't think Team 2 can't come back from this. Yeah, the middle definitely gave Team 1 a lot of time to build up. But artillery landing next to Restorers, definitely not the thing. That should be doing 3 Fat Boys, 3 Crabs. It's just not going Team 2's way. And again, it's just one of those things where the defense, Loki's killed off by Smithers. Okay, that's the 3rd player killed off by Satellites. Team 2 has 2 more. Kaleo over here and Chaz over there. The question is, will everybody on Team 2 be killed off by Satellites? The Scathis was started. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Not so much. Artillery landing next to Kaleo. Going for T3. Don't really know why, but he's going for it. And those crabs being eviscerated by Restorers. Chickens chasing down the Fat Boys. 2 of the Fat Boys are down. Restorers retreating once again. There go the Satellites. I wonder who they're targeting. There goes the kill on Kaleo. That is the 4th player killed by Satellites. And it's by Smithers. Nuke, says Kaleo. Nuke. Team 2 has a nuke, but I don't think it's going to be that useful at this point. There's 1 player left. It's assassination game here. 8 Satellites online. Did Team 1 build any more that I don't know about? Chickens moving in. They might kill off some Satellites here, but both of the chickens fall. One of the Satellites does go down, but again, there's 3 Fat Boys here. There's a lot of attack power and defense power in this engagement, but Satellites now zoning in on Chaz's commander. It's not really going to go. Literal builds another experimental Duke online. Mayboy has been primed, ready to go, at least in terms of starting it. That's not really necessary at this point. Engineers assisting the best they can. They're trying to hold off. Hold the line, hold the line. It's a little rough to see, but it does happen in the game. Satellites are broken through the shielding. That's it. Pigeons have been targeted. SMB, but oh, no shields for you. That one pops back online. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. 1 satellite was destroyed, but that is it. Artillery raining in. The question is, who will get the kill, the artillery or the Satellites? I think the Satellites will get the kill, but you never know. Now they're just going after the P-Gens. I don't think that's going to matter, considering he has... Oh, no, it might matter. Artillery raining in. More shields being built. Just target the commander at this point, probably, says somebody on Team 1. Oh, lands right next to him. Takes a chunk out of his shield hit points. And there it goes. No shields for you. No protection. Laser. Just that's going to wipe you off the face of the map. Jazz, there he goes. Kaboom. 5 of the 6 players on Team 2 were killed off by Satellites, all by Smithers, who got control of half of the ones that he had from other players. That is the game. Team 1 wins the game at 53 minutes. The MVP of the game. I mean, do I pick Smithers? To be fair, I think I will, not just for the Satellites, but because he held here for the longest time. Had Chaz been able to break through, it would have been obviously a completely different game, especially early on. Chaz's mistake, I think, early was not bringing those initial units with him to attack that fire base that Smithers was building. had that position fallen, it would have given a lot more momentum for Team 2 on this eastern side, broken through. Team 1 would have had to divert more resources over here. Smithers may have died. Maybe he didn't die, but it definitely would have changed the landscape at a minimum, forcing Team 1's attention more over here than over here. But let me know down in the comments what you felt about the game in general. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.